Fuck you.
Fuck you. Sorry, I'm gonna cut you off there.
I have a question. I don't want to talk about Kanye West, and that's it.
This is a Kanye-free.
Well, all right. First of all, I agree. Zone. Second of all, that was not a question.
I have a query. I have a request.
It's not my fault that I opted out.
But also, I have an actual question. Are you? I mean, Pena, you're familiar because you watch Game of Thrones. But Yaman, are you familiar with the concept of a trial by combat?
It sounds fairly self-explanatory.
Yeah. So if you're judged to be, guilty of something in medieval world, you can request, in some cases, a trial by combat. And that way, you will fight someone who represents the kingdom, the queen, somebody. Or you can call a second. You can say, oh, I will have blah, 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 my friend fight for me. And they'll fight a second of theirs. So I have a question for you. If you were in that situation and you were given the opportunity to have a trial by combat, there's two options for this. The first one is, who do you think you could get to fight for you? Answer that question.
Oh, damn.
No, but who would fight on my behalf? Nobody.
That's a good question.
Nobody.
I've always thought about this. It is just like, nobody would care or fight.
Yeah.
It's not that nobody would care. I'm sure there'd be a bunch of people that were like,
watching.
Man, if I could fight, I'd help you, but that's
okay.
That's a big ask.
The opponent in the fight will be Conor McGregor.
I would just drop out.
Yeah. What is the other punishment if you don't do, like death?
You're
I guess
killed.
That's what. All right. Well, save everybody some time.
There's gotta be a way.
You're not gonna pull anybody?
Who would
You don't think
do
anybody?
It? Who
I would fight for you.
You would not fight Conor McGregor for me.
I don't give a shit. He's like 3 feet tall. I'd throw him into the moon.
He would kill you. He would kill you with one punch.
No, he would not. No, he would not.
He would rip you to pieces.
This isn't a UFC fight. And he also weighs like 8 pounds.
You know what I would do? I would find Conor McGregor's arch nemesis. Someone that really hates Conor McGregor anyways and just wants an excuse to fight him. That's what you gotta do.
Okay.
So probably Floyd Mayweather or something.
Yeah.
I'd probably just be like,
if
Conor
you're
McGregor's
calling a
just talking
second,
shit.
if you're not fighting him, then it will be Joe Rogan that you have to fight.
Oh.
I was just start talking to Joe Rogan about like
you'd be like, man, we're all just
and
monkeys. And then he'd be like, you know what, you're right. You get behind him and you slip his neck. But that guy's huge. He'd be even worse. Actually, let's switch it.
He would not be worse. He would not be worse than Conor McGregor.
Joe Rogan is like 300 pounds of muscle. Are you insane?
You're stupid. You're just wrong.
People fucking overrate Conor McGregor. He wins a lot of fights, you're right. In his division, in his weight class. This isn't about weight classes. This is killing people.
Okay.
I think I could just fuck with Joe Rogan by saying like
something that's
something like really mind-blowing or something that would like, I don't know, something stupid that would get
non-centrist.
Yeah, exactly. Something just really fucking out there and he just doesn't challenge at all. He's like, yeah, I never thought about it like that. And we're like, it's my chance.
Okay. Going for the
like going for the neck kill while he's like dumbfounded.
While he's pondering what you said.
He's like looking up, like scratching his head, thinking about what you've just said.
Exactly.
What if the opponent... Okay, if we're pulling from somebody ridiculous now, this isn't Friends anymore. This is you can pick anyone, regardless of whether or not they want to fight for you, they are going to fight for you. So superheroes, fictional characters, anybody.
Superman.
The opponent...
I don't care who the opponent... Superman. Go ahead.
I just got
The opponent is...
Superman.
The opponent is... Wolverine.
Superman. Ooh, I'd get Deadpool.
I think I would get...
How do you even kill Wolverine?
You'd have to, like, disintegrate, like, every atom in his body.
You can't disintegrate his brain because it's encased in his adamantium skull.
You can destroy adamantium, though.
With what?
On, like, a magical level.
That's true.
Yeah.
See, I've always thought that the easiest way to technically, in air quotes, kill Wolverine is just to bury him in cement. Throw him into the ocean or something.
Yeah, can't he
he's
still,
not gonna
like,
get out of that.
He can still suffocate and stuff, right?
No, he can't suffocate because he's an invisible god according to like all the comics.
I know that like
he got thrown into the sun, and like the punishment for that was he lost his healing factor for a couple of issues, and then Old Man Logan came into the picture.
I know that, for example, like Luke Cage, who has like indestructible skin,
You can kill his organs.
Yeah, you can fuck him up from the inside, basically. So if he swallowed a grenade, he'd be done for, basically. So you just need
he's got jellyfish DNA or something, whatever the fuck it was.
But I guess the real problem with Wolverine is that he has such an extraordinary healing factor. Like, you could target any vulnerable part of him, right? Like his organs, his regular skin or whatever, but it would just like grow back even if there was a tiny speck of him, right? So you need to find a way to just burn it all down. Like, he cannot grow back from anything. So
throw him into the sun.
it probably wouldn't be that hard. You just need someone super overpowered like Thanos with the Infinity
Anyone that can
Gauntlet.
fly in space could kill him.
Yeah, or...
Are we going to talk about Avengers?
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
Or we should. But we don't do that now. I don't know if you wanted to
Why
continue
not?
this, like, hypothetical.
I mean, this is the
like,
same vein.
Is there anyone you would fight yourself? Like, you would champion for yourself?
Give me an example. Oh, would I fight for?
No.
I would fight for either of you guys. I'd fight for my little brother, maybe one of my other brothers, my mom probably. I don't know how they would be held on trial for death. My mom she shot up a liquor store.
I'm saying if you had to like represent yourself, like you had to fight for your own life at this trial by combat, right? Like you didn't appoint a champion or whatever.
Yep. No one would fight for me, obviously.
Yeah. So let's say you're fighting.
I called my mom and she didn't show up.
Is there like a high school bully or someone? Like there was someone at your high school who was like just a huge douche, like overly aggressive alpha male.
There are many, but I don't want to name them.
Okay, well
I would. There are people.
Yes,
yes, I would beat the fuck out of.
Jeez. Okay. He's like, forget
just because
the trial
they were
by
just so
combat.
weirdly
Square up.
torturous towards me. I'm gonna do something that's so heinous that I get committed to like this asylum, and then I get to choose a trial by combat specifically, so I get to legally kill someone.
This is like a weird like.
Yeah, I mean, you're the
like
person
the
who was kind of
Purge.
short and really rich and really annoying and gave me the business all the time.
That's half
White kid.
half of our school.
He's
Lenin.
really,
Short, white, rich.
Lenin.
like Russia Lenin, like communism Lenin.
No, it just sounds like his name.
Yes.
you go.
Okay.
That's one.
Sounds like his name. That
Example
makes more sense. I was
one.
like, what is that? What does that have to do with the
He weighs like 100 pounds, and oh man, trial by combat.
What would this guy do exactly if he's just like a
He would
fucking
just
100 pounds?
He was just so I don't know why, because I never fight back or like defend myself, and he just shoved me in lockers, even though I weigh more than him and I could easily just shove him away. I couldn't do that. I just couldn't bring myself to. It's how I was raised. I couldn't do it.
Oh,
But
I
now
would slap the shit out of
I
him.
would fucking launch him into the sun.
No way, dude. Like if, especially like just some 100-pound like tiny ass kid like tried to like I don't know, be aggressively masculine or whatever towards me. I just
It was
slap
absolutely
him
a
in the face a
domineering
couple
alpha
times.
male thing that he wanted to show off or something. And I wasn't even like a fucking popular kid, so I don't know why he chose me to like, you know, like the prison thing. I'm gonna beat up the biggest guy here, but the biggest guy is a scarecrow who lonely walks through the hallways and listens to music by himself. I don't know what I did to this kid.
I could probably like immediately tell that he had some serious
He's a Trevor.
insecurities and shit.
He's a Trevor
right?
for sure.
And he was definitely trying to prove something. And I would just like latch onto that. Like I'd just be like,
You're gonna
ain't shit.
psychoanalyze him
Like,
and make him uncomfortable.
yeah, exactly. I would just psychoanalyze him and I would be like, why do you feel the need to act this way? Why do you think
Well, he was
doing
really
this
And then he
rich,
punches
you
really
in the
throat.
entitled.
Yeah.
No, no.
Well, if he like tries anything, I'll literally just like slap the shit out of him like multiple times. Like that's the funniest way to beat someone up is just like slap him across the face back and forth like it's a fucking Mickey Mouse cartoon.
But he would do stuff like physical stuff, like shove me and stuff, but it wasn't enough to where like I don't know. For some reason, I felt like if I shoved him back, like everything else in high school, the moment I participated in something, it was my fault, and I was, you know, I was a criminal for it.
That's the fucking worst. Is like, yeah, when kids get into fights at school, like the one that's defending themselves usually also get in trouble and some shit, or even they're the only ones that get in trouble, and it's total bullshit. So
Yeah.
that's the fucking way. But as long as no one pulls a knife or anything, it's all fair game in my book.
Yeah, I mean, you really want to talk about Infinity War?
I mean, it's a movie I've seen, and
That's
I can't
true.
say that for
You
a lot of
feel
movies.
it's a rare feeling for you to be able to participate.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and preface this now.
Super spoilers.
Full spoilers from Infinity
Do
War.
not continue to watch this. We won't come up with a timestamp for when you can start listening again. So
Yeah, if I say I come up with a timestamp, I'm gonna forget, and then someone's gonna comment, "Where's the timestamp?" And I'm just like, "Ah, shit, sorry." I always say that when like we're posting photos.
it's the
and
number
stuff
one
the
movie in
description.
America. At some point in the next 3 days, you should probably watch it.
Yes.
Yeah.
When this podcast comes out.
Yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Everyone died.
Spoilers.
Jeez. All right.
So
Calm down, Mark.
Thanos
Ruffalo.
takes his big meaty hand and puts it in the Infinity Gauntlet and fists Peter Parker with all his might.
Yeah, he.
And then people latched onto that fucking stupid scene where Peter dies in air quotes. He doesn't fucking die. He disappears with everybody else. People are acting like Spider-Man specifically. His death was so insane.
He definitely got a lot more.
It was so
time
stupid.
To die. He definitely.
His death was
For
like
what
more
reason?
emotional, though.
Why did they give him so much more time to die?
He's more important. Everybody knows
His soul
that.
is more resistant to the Infinity Stones.
Exactly.
Sure, okay.
It was like I had that scene
Gamora
spoiled
got
for me.
murked.
Yeah, she's dead. But I had the Spider-Man dying thing spoiled for me before I actually saw the movie. I saw it Monday, so I saw it pretty late, and I was so
he didn't
pissed.
Really die though.
Yeah, but
the way
you
probably thought of it was like, oh, he's getting stabbed through the heart or something like that.
Yeah, for real.
That dude, when Iron Man
wiped him
caught the
out.
blade, holy shit, my jaw dropped.
I was waiting for him to die.
Oh, I thought he was definitely gonna die.
Shit.
I'm kinda mad he didn't
I know.
die.
I was like, he's gone. That's it. That
Yeah,
shit's
but then he
crazy.
just like
I hate his armor so much.
I think
Yeah,
it's
I don't
actually
like the
kind
new
of
armor. I feel like it's lazy. The nano
It's super
armor.
lazy.
I like
very
the,
lazy.
I like
It's been getting worse and worse.
I like the concept of it, but I think
It's
it looks
bad.
a little too slick, too spacey. I don't know how to describe it.
It's also like
Too
you're
sci-fi.
we literally looked up an article when we were talking about this on Xbox. I did, and I was just saying like it's from Avengers to now. It's just getting worse. Like
It's like a
Avengers is like
downward.
peak because it's got like the armor you can see like oh there's pieces falling off and it's got black soot on it, and that same thing happened in Iron Man 1, and then Iron Man 2 you get this suit that comes in the suitcase, and I'm just like, that's fucking dope.
The
I'm
fucking
giving that a
suitcase
pass.
suit
The
is
fight
so
scene in the
fucking
garden was
cool.
great. Everything about that was awesome. Iron Man 3, you're like, okay, wow, we've got all these iterations of different suits, and he's just going like bananas, jerking off all over the place with all these amazing suits. And now, Civil War, really weird. Its head doesn't look like it's attached to the suit. It's really bad. Homecoming,
Civil War one was
terrible.
whatever.
This one even worse. Rhodey and him both have terrible CGI. I don't know
Oh,
why they're
man.
not spending more money. And
You know what really fucked me up
What?
is the Hulkbuster armor when the helmet came off and you just saw
Oh my god,
Banner's
that
head
was so bad.
coming
Bad.
out of the suit. It
That
looked
was
so bad.
So bad.
So fake. Like there was a lot of CGI in this movie, and a lot of it looked pretty rough.
It did.
Like the fucking dark elves that Thanos is friends with or whatever, his fucking minions.
No, I like those.
They looked so.
They did look like video game
character-y.
characters, but I didn't care. It was fine with me.
They looked
because the whole
straight out of like a Skyrim cinematic. I swear, like World of Warcraft's like special
Yeah.
cutscene thing.
I remember
like,
specifically Proxima Midnight looked pretty bad. The girl, the
Yeah.
woman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she looked
She
pretty
looked
bad. When
rough.
she was fighting Black Widow, I was just like, they're not fighting anything in this scene. They're just
Yeah.
swinging at nothing.
exactly. I was like, I don't know what it was. I think it was the way her face kind of moved. Like
Yeah.
it seemed like the frame rate was too high on her facial movements, if that makes sense. Like her
It's too bad
face
they
moved
killed Andy
like too
Serkis, or they could have brought him back
computer
for this kind of
smooth, and
stuff.
everyone else was real. It was so bizarre. I don't know what the fuck was going on there.
They did the children of Thanos really well, though. They felt menacing. Like I was scared of them.
Yeah, I mean Thanos himself was like
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
and
He was
looked
great.
He like felt textured. I don't know. It like totally worked for me.
He felt like a character, which was
Yeah.
weird
Yeah.
for villains.
He was a great character. Yeah. Besides like the CGI stuff, he was super interesting. I'm glad they didn't. I was always confused about the why is he so specific about half the like population of the universe, and I know it's in the comics because he's trying to impress Death or whatever.
Lady Death, which
Yeah.
is I'm glad they didn't go that route.
That would have not have carried over
That would have
well.
been bad.
But instead he was like concerned about overpopulation, which was like pretty interesting. Like
See,
interesting way to
people
go for it.
said people have brought this up. It's like you have the Infinity Gauntlet. Why not just create infinite resources?
That's what I thought about too immediately. I was like, well, couldn't you just do it the other
and
way?
then you could say, oh, well, you can't just create matter from nothing. It's like, well, there are tons of asteroids that you could use your fucking magic gauntlet to turn into food. You can just use
true.
that matter.
Yeah.
Why isn't nobody else thinking about this? He's thinking about it is like he got to step one in his plan, and they just was like, all right, that's it. Let's go.
I'd really love to hash out the details of this with him because he seems a little too set in his ways. Like he's already like really like down and noble about it. He's like, no one's gonna appreciate what I'm gonna do, but it's okay. Like you
hope
all
they
are gonna
remember
appreciate
you.
this like 50 years from now. And I was like, I don't know about that. You are a little too. You haven't really thought this all the way through. There's a lot of other things you could do with like the entire power that created the universe, essentially.
The fight. I know I said I hate the CGI for his suit, but the fight between him and Thanos when everybody else falls away and he shoots that little like mechanical device nano thing onto his hand is just like, man, they were really focused on this. And then he goes in for the kill and he's like starting to, he's like losing more of the suit. and he's got the blade, and he's just trying his very best, and then he finally sticks into him, and I'm like, Iron Man just got fucking murked. He's dead for sure.
I really
and
thought he was
didn't
gonna die.
And then he just put fucking super glue on his wound, and I was like, what the fuck?
That was cool. A little thing, I don't know if you guys noticed it, but like as he was losing more and more of the suit. So like he wouldn't have any like armor on his like right arm, and he was about to get hit. He'd use his right arm to guard, and like a piece of his armor would go away from his leg and show up on his arm. I thought that was kind of cool. How it was like for a few hits, like he was moving the armor essentially where it was because he couldn't create more. He just had to move what he had.
I was wondering how he was losing pieces of the armor though.
Because it's all just nanobots. Like you can just keep destroying the nanobots.
They would be coming back like the Terminator T1000, right?
No, that's like a different thing. The T1000 stuff is just like one big liquid metal thing.
No, they're
that changes
nanobots.
States.
It's not liquid metal. They're nanobots.
In Terminator?
T1000.
I don't really remember how that works, but in this, I'm assuming
and these are also nanobot. He said nanotech. And they move all over him. Why can't they just move into his fucking leg?
I mean, I assume that there's a finite amount of tiny ass robots, and eventually they all
just getting punched. He literally just got punched a bunch.
Yeah, he got punched to the point where some of it flew off, and maybe it broke when he got hit. I don't know. I'm just saying.
I mean, I'm fine with believing that they can like fall off if you like hit them hard enough, or like they stop functioning. Like they're just tiny.
What I didn't understand was he shoots out the blade. Thanos grabs his arm, breaks the blade, grabs the blade, is about to shove it. I think that the material should be just then turned into liquid again. Or not liquid, just like soft. Like the moment it comes apart, it should just like apparate. Like it's now back into the nanotech form. And it could grab back onto his hand and like do all that stuff. It didn't make sense to me that he could be stabbed with his own technology.
Okay.
It would have been cool
really
if... It would have been cool, if...
Because there's an AI in the suit. It's Friday. She's got control of it. She doesn't have any fucking algorithm that's just like, all right, if something comes off and somebody else is using a weapon against us that we made, shouldn't we turn that off?
Yeah, it would have been cool if it like immediately like he tried to stab him and then it just kind of like automatically gets added back to him.
Just,
he just absorbs it essentially.
While he was going to stab, it like formed around him like a giant like ball and it just like stuck his fist together so he couldn't move. That would be cool.
Wait, yeah, he should have just used the nanobot shit to prevent him from closing his glove.
Like he did.
He did that.
Oh, yeah.
He shot the little drone to keep his hand open for a while, but he just ripped it. Thanos just ripped it off. Like he did. A piece of tinfoil.
He did something interesting with like I saw he was throwing pieces of himself like with the hand thing and everything else to restrain him. Like he shot one that put his hand down into the earth. And then, while Thanos was monologuing, he was just sort of like, "I know you" or something like that. I know you. And it's my curse to know you or something like. I'm cursed with a lot of knowledge. And then Tony says like, "My only curse is you." And then he just started running at him, and I was just like, "This is so intense. I love this,
dude." It was like the part where they figured out how to like all like get him restrained momentarily. It was really dope, but I knew they were gonna fuck it up somehow. That's the scene I thought Spider-Man was gonna die for real. I thought like because he was the only one. Yeah, he ended up being the only one holding onto the glove, and then I thought Thanos would like somehow fucking close his hand, and Spider-Man would be the one like on the hand, and then he just like get squished like a bug or like get energy.
Peter Quill should be taken out and shot.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like galactic genocide indirectly.
Who's Peter Quill?
Star-Lord.
Got it.
Yeah, did you not see Guardians of the Galaxy before you watched Infinity War?
He hasn't seen anything.
Oh, really? No. Wait, how did that make sense? Did any of that stuff make sense to you? How did that fly with you?
Any of what stuff?
The Guardians stuff. Space guys.
I mean, Patrick sort of explained before the movie, and when I had questions, I asked. But like, for example, I was like, so are they literally Guardians of the Galaxy?
They call themselves that.
Yeah, and I think he said they're more like bounty hunters or something. I don't remember exactly what you said, but you were, and so I mean, it wasn't that much to.
And the way all the characters were written were almost like James Gunn was like on set to help guide them. It was amazing. It was just like we're cutting to a Guardians movie now because Peter was like sitting in the chair, and then Drax was like. And then we can steal their ship, and Peter was like, "Yup," and I was just like, "This is great. I really like this."
I really like Teenage Groot. I was a fan of him.
Drax standing there is just like, "I've learned that if I stand still." How long have you been there for an hour?
My favorite moment was
Dave Bautista's so good.
I like Teenage Groot throughout the whole thing. I thought it was really fucking funny.
He made,
but then when he made
Stormbreaker.
Thor's fucking axe, it was actually like super emotional. Like he was like
super cool.
he like rose to the occasion and like did something despite him being a bratty teenager. I was like,
I
damn,
kind
this
of
is
miss
some real
old
shit.
Groot, like when he was a giant tree, because it's almost like he has wisdom and like something special. But now he's sort of just like tree man.
Apparently, this Groot isn't the same Groot at all.
No, he died. This is
Yeah.
a different organism.
Which is like kind of weird to think about. Like I don't think a lot of people realize that.
It's more substantial that he died then, because
Yeah.
otherwise he did that whole like we are Groot thing for no reason.
Yeah. But then it's like a weird technicality where it doesn't matter anyways because you have basically the same Groot back. So
He's not the same Groot though. He has to be taught everything else.
yeah, but people don't really like. I don't think enough people really know the details of that. You know, like they still
It's
call
not
him
a
Groot. He
detail.
still
You
says,
just
"I am
watch the
Groot."
movie. You can see that he's becoming a bratty teenager and he's not listening. And everybody now knows I am Groot language because they've been listening to him talk for longer now.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That was a little fun fact because I've never seen the movies. I thought like he spoke, but he says "I am Groot" a lot, so like that's like his catchphrase or whatever. Didn't realize it was like Pokemon style. Like that's all he can fucking say.
Yeah.
That was kind of interesting.
It's
to
like
learn.
if the thing could only say it's clobbering time.
Yeah, I know. I just didn't know that. That was something I found interesting.
Wait, Yaman, what movies did you see before going into this?
I have to see that list that the person tweeted.
You saw
I know
all
you
the
said
Iron
you saw-
Mans.
Shut up.
I know you said you saw 6 of them.
I think it was like 5 or 6. Where is it?
I think really just the essential ones were probably Civil War, at least one Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
Both the
Here we go.
Avengers.
Okay.
Yeah, the other Avengers ones.
Ultron's not really that important.
Iron Man,
Well, it
Iron Man
introduces-
2, The Avengers, Iron Man 3, The Other Avengers,
You saw Ultron?
and Spider-Man. No, I didn't actually.
You didn't see that.
No, I didn't. So not that one. And Spider-Man Homecoming.
You kept saying
Spider-Man
who's the red guy
Homecoming?
when you were talking about Vision.
Yeah,
This-
That was
yeah.
something that also kind of frustrated me. He has one of the power stones, yet he's like a little bitch.
He
I
is.
didn't understand that at all.
Well, they make a point that it takes a certain caliber of being to wield one, and he's only got a certain grasp on some of its functions. Like in Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one, it takes all of them to hang on tight to the stone and all holding hands, and then they can shoot out some power and they kill the final boss. But all of them, it takes a lot out of them. Like, it took 6 people, everything they had, to hold on to it for 10 seconds and kill one guy. So imagine one guy by himself, a robot organism, and then he's got it in his forehead,
So
and he can
what
only
makes-
shoot lasers.
What makes Thanos strong enough to wield 5?
He's a big guy.
He's a Titan.
Okay.
He's also got the gauntlet. It's also special because he made it by the dwarf.
Oh,
remember?
okay, that's
Yeah.
right. Okay, he's the gauntlet.
It's got special properties.
Like, I don't think... I mean, Thanos could probably hold them all in his bare hands.
Well, he
And
did.
he does, like, touch
whenever
them, yeah.
he picked one up, he was held it in his big stupid blue hand.
Yeah. He's also like a Titan, which is a
From the planet of
special,
Titan.
very powerful race. I mean, they are from the planet of Titan, so they
I'm
are...
not sure that that's true. I think the only reason that he's capable of, like, when you see he's got the gauntlet on and he's picking up another stone and setting it into the glove, I think the only reason he's capable of picking them up is because he's already got some of the stones in his glove.
I think it's inherently really fucking powerful without the shit. Because he's able to beat the fuck out of the Hulk just like fisticuffs.
Well,
like,
it depends.
Well,
just
didn't
chokes
he
him the
have like a
fuck out.
stone or two at that point?
he did, but he
He
didn't
did,
use
but he
any
didn't
of them.
use it in that moment. I'm sure,
Yeah.
like, I bet, like,
But it
his
doesn't
whole
give
thing
you-
was, if I use it, then I'm a coward, so I better fight him with my own strength.
Yeah, he just like choked a bitch.
Like,
when
the
he
guy
faced the
said,
Hulk.
let him have his fun. Like, he wasn't going to execute the Hulk with a power stone or anything.
So
Yeah.
you don't think that the gauntlet and the stones have some kind of passive power that
It's
makes
not a
they do.
stat. It's not a stat buff.
Yes, it is.
You have to
that's
actively
what I'm
use it.
thinking.
I think it
That's
absolutely
literally what
is.
I'm thinking.
No,
You think
they
so?
never
You think if he's
established
not shooting something out of the gauntlet, he's not using it. If he's not like warping reality or shooting something out of it, or he's not using it, I
The
feel like
stones-
it's
I
got to
feel
make
like
him
it lets
smarter.
him
It's got to
hold
make him.
them.
Actually,
And that's about it.
I think the only thing I'd buy is when he finally gets all of them. He kind of has that weird like power up moment where like the shit is flowing through his veins.
But he has
That's
that.
in every one.
He has that with every single one. It's
Yeah.
just not to that extent. He has
Really?
that with every
Does he have that,
single
like,
one he
weird
puts
flinching
in. He
moment?
like orgasms a little bit.
He
Okay.
like he has that like gritting teeth moment, and then you can
Yeah.
see the energy going around him.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why I feel like
also I think
gotta enhance him somehow.
It's too. I think he's capable of picking up the stones with his bare hand because he's got the glove, and at least one of the stones is in there at all times. So that's why he's capable, because they have that bond, the stones, and they want to be together. So why would they kill him by picking it up? It wants to be together again.
That's fair.
And I think that they made a point that said, don't let him close his fist. He can only use it when he closes his fist. Remember?
Yeah.
So
I feel like when he was punching the Hulk, his fists were closed. I just want to make a point.
Well,
there.
he has to like to actively do the magic stuff, especially like bending reality, bending time, using.
He's
the
also
power
as big
blast
as
or
the
whatever.
Hulk. He's about as tall, maybe even a few feet taller. Like you could see, like the Hulk is this low to the ground, big, stupid Hulk thing.
I was
and
surprised they
Thanos
were the
is
same
tall.
height. I thought like Thanos would be like, I don't know, 8 feet,
No, he's
10
big
feet,
boy.
but the Hulk is like 15 feet in my eyes. But no, he just like I think Thanos is like, they're probably the same height, but the Hulk has really bad posture. So he like
I
is
figured
lowered.
he's like a fire plug. Like he's just like wide and shorter.
Yeah, I just thought it's funny because my thought process going to this, and I'm sure some other people had the same thought process, was like, well, why don't they just pull a Hulk on the Loki and just be like, have the Hulk beat the shit out of Thanos, and they immediately have Thanos beat the shit out of Hulk,
Yeah,
They take
I
out
like
the big
that.
gun.
Yeah.
Like this is like
and he's immediately just like crushed the shit out of him. So Hulk is too like scared to come out for the rest of the movie.
when
Yes.
Loki died, that was emotional. Like I cared.
I think he died for real this time.
A couple things about that first scene. One, I think it was great that they did what they did with the Hulk, because I didn't know who Thanos was or like the extent of his power, and just that first fight was like, okay, well, he's not just another villain. He's, a real force to be reckoned with. And two, I didn't know Loki very much, because again, I haven't seen a lot of the movies. So when he goes, let me be your guide on Earth, and like I'll join you and I'll bow my head to you, and I was like, man, he's really gonna turn on his brother right there. And then he makes like the dagger, and I'm
right
like,
back.
oh, okay. Patrick's house is on fire or something.
Oh, I thought that was your
Nope.
room, Yaman. I thought there was like some fire alarm or something.
Nope.
That's funny as fuck. Let's speculate on what is burning Patrick's house down right now. I'm gonna say it is a burnt toast. Was it burnt toast?
No.
What was it?
What's the timestamp so we can erase all of that?
I'm just gonna leave it in.
It's not
No,
that-
don't
yeah,
leave it
it's
in
not
because
that-
there was
that wasn't
dialogue with me and
that-
someone else.
I didn't hear
No one-
anything, but
no
I'll
one
mute
heard
it
it.
out.
I don't
fine.
care. We're reading it.
It's 20. I have it marked down. It's like 28
I have it.
something.
It's 28.
Okay.
Anyway.
fine. Anyways, but yeah, I agree with Yaman as well. I think that first scene was really important for establishing that
important.
Thanos ain't some bitch. Like he's gonna fuck him up. and
Were you guys
stuff.
just completely silent while I was gone?
No, we
No,
were
we're
taking bets on
talking.
Oh,
what was
thank
the
God.
cause of the fire.
Man, where's Patrick going?
We just have
We should
small
sit
talk,
here
you
in
know.
silence for 30 seconds until Patrick gets back, because that's what we're gonna do. Good thinking.
Yaman, was there anything else you didn't understand or that you found inherently confusing?
You asked me why the Hulk wouldn't come out.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that was something. It's not so much I didn't understand. It's just I never thought of the Hulk
Just
and
separate
Bruce
beings.
as two separate people, entities, or whatever. Like they were literally talking to each other. He's like, "Hulk, come out," and Hulk goes, "No." Like they were literally talking to each other.
They
and that was
established that
something
more in
that
Thor Ragnarok.
really
Yeah.
confused me, and I haven't seen that, so that's probably why it just really
There's this
confused me.
analogy that Bruce Banner brings up in that movie. Is like, for a while, it was like me and Hulk both had a hand on the wheel, but while I've been here on Sakaar, it's like he had both hands on the wheel and I was locked in the trunk. Like they fight for control over the body.
Interesting. I didn't realize how this is basically like a direct. It picks up right where Thor Ragnarok left off, which I was surprised by.
I noticed that because Patrick was like, I was like, what do I need to know before this movie starts? And he was like, all right, well, at the end of, I think, was it Thor? You were like,
Yeah,
Thor
Thor
ends up
Ragnarok.
floating in space and the Guardians find him, right? And then that literally happens in this movie because they don't want audience members to not know what the fuck's going on. They give you that little bit of, look, they found Thor, and then they talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. I remember that was one of the first pieces of footage that they showed off from the movie at like Comic-Con or something. But I'm trying to think what else might have been confusing. It was a pretty big Black Panther presence in this movie,
was pretty
but everyone's
Easy to see what's going on there.
yeah, and also like Black Panther was huge, so I assume like most people saw that one.
Yaman's not most people.
There's just a lot of like small things that like are built upon one another. Like when I say, okay, you need to see Captain America Civil War to like really get where everyone's at in Infinity War. But then when you see Civil War, there's like a bunch of things before that would also like enhance your understanding. Like, right, you should see Avengers Age of Ultron, even though like Ultron and stuff doesn't relate directly.
See that one because it's bad, but
yeah, but like the events in that movie lead directly into Civil War and have consequences, and that's where Vision and Scarlet Witch come from.
You don't need to see a whole movie to find out where they're from. The one of the Infinity Stones was used to experiment on people. That created Scarlet Witch and her brother Quicksilver, who died in that same movie. Vision was created when Ultron tried to make a synthetic body out of vibranium. He is a result of that experiment, and he's got the Infinity Stone in his head. That's it.
What the fuck are Vision's powers?
He can
Scarlet Witch
phase through walls. That was his only power in the first comics.
Scarlet Witch seems more powerful than Vision, and
is.
Vision has a fucking Infinity Stone. That just doesn't make sense to me.
Neither,
I just can't get it around my head how much of like I feel like if what was his name? Hawkeye was there, he would have done more than fucking Vision did.
I figure it's
and
like
that's saying a lot.
It's like the Infinity Stone is like a fire hose, and Vision trying to unleash some of it creates a lot of tension and restraint for him. And with Scarlet Witch, her powers are, separate like an island, so she doesn't need to, show that much restraint. She can just sort of control it, as it's like in her. But with Vision, like a fire hose. That's the way I fucking bring it about in my head.
Why did they give it to Vision? Why wouldn't
they didn't give it to Vision? Ultron did.
Why?
He was trying to create a perfect body for himself to inhabit. He was a robot looking for a better body.
So he picked the shittiest superhero he could find?
He's not a superhero. He was just created out of Jarvis and a bunch of vibranium. That was it. It was synthetic. It was just made in that movie.
Yeah, and then Thor hits it with his like lightning hammer, and that gives him life or something in a weird Frankenstein
Vision is also worthy of holding Mjolnir, the hammer.
Yeah.
It's pretty weird. Because he's a good person.
Why?
Isn't Vision... I think they did nerf Vision in this movie a little bit, because in the other movies he's
a little
pretty
bit,
powerful.
He didn't do anything.
Well, he got the shit kicked out of him by everybody.
Everybody, every fight, he was not useful at any point in the movie.
Stabbed.
He was useful when he died.
From the jump, he got stabbed. Like the moment he started doing stuff, stabbed in the chest, and he was down for the count. He gets stabbed like 87 times.
I mean, even then, even that first fight, he was such a little bitch.
Well, because he immediately got stabbed. Like, could you keep fighting if you had gotten like stabbed through the chest? Like
if I had an Infinity Stone, maybe.
Yeah, but that
you
Infinity
couldn't
Stone...
hold the Infinity Stone. That's the whole point I'm making. He's got a power he can't control. He literally says almost in every point, like in Civil War, he talks about it in Age of Ultron. I think he touches on it, how he doesn't know how it works, and he's only beginning to grasp what it does.
I see what you're saying. Let's take a step out.
Oh my god.
Why would they create a character like that? Why would
why would you want an unstoppable god? That doesn't make any sense.
I don't need an unstoppable god, but I also don't need a potato with an Infinity Stone in his freaking head.
He's not a potato. Literally,
he might as well
enemy is trying to kill him, and he's the target. That is why he's so weak. Why would he be able to stop everything that's going on? That's so stupid.
Like, You
want Superman. He's not Superman.
I don't want Superman. I want Vision to be able to do anything. Give me anything.
He shot a laser out of his head.
Isn't he
stabbed
also
a guy in the chest from behind and lifted him in the air like 6 feet
Oh
in
my
the
gosh,
air.
dude! He must be incredible. He can stab somebody.
Let me hear what you have to say about Captain America getting his shit kicked in by everybody in this movie, by a bunch of animal dogs.
Could stab someone in the back.
Yeah, okay. Just because this one guy has the Infinity Stone and you're not really sure why he can't use it that much.
It's not just. I mean, okay, if he didn't have the Infinity Stone, he's just
then you
a boring
wouldn't be
character.
Complaining about it, huh?
What does he do? Infinity Stone aside, what does he do?
He doesn't do much in this movie.
That's
You're right.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
His power set, he can phase through solid objects.
Never did that.
Yes, he did. He's got super strength in the fucking first scene when he phases through that fucking building.
He does do that. You got me.
Yeah. You bitch.
And
you got me.
He can fly.
Like, these creatures that they're fighting in, like the children of Ultron, are bred and created to combat people who may have the stones. They've got weapons that deflect the energy.
I mean,
they were literally trying to pry it out with a fucking spear while he was pinning the ground. Their super strength, everything about him is amazing.
Wasn't his stone like hurting him too before any of this happened? Like
it was
like,
giving him headaches.
Yeah, like some shit's happening. Yeah. Well, I mean, like, who the fuck knows?
And then Scarlet Witch would like swirl her like teeth.
Yeah.
That's enough. That's enough.
She'd do the thing I do in middle school all the time, where I put a pencil up to my forehead and rub it really hard.
I
so
thought you were going to say something
good.
way different along the lines of what I said. Something I would do in middle school to my girlfriend.
Stop. That's enough. That's
okay.
enough.
But I guess in theory, then Scarlet Witch is more powerful than Vision because she was like kind of born from the Infinity Stone, and then Vision just kind of has this thing stuck in him that he doesn't know what to do with.
Yeah, I'm gonna point this out too. I didn't like it either. How long that they took to fucking just kill him. You're talking about billions of people, trillions of people. Scarlet Witch should have killed him like in the moment. She's way too emotional for that shit. That whole moment lasted like 87 years.
So
Thanos is fucking smacking people around in the background.
Little context. At the very end, when all the Avengers are like jumping at Thanos one by one and getting swatted away, Scarlet Witch and Vision are like having this conversation. He was like, "Now's the time. You have to do it." She's like, "No, I won't do it." And he's literally like smushing Avengers and walking towards them. He's already away. I know, he's already like 5 feet away. Like, it's not like he's got a mile to walk. And she's like, "I can't do it." And like, you gotta hurry up a little bit. Like, I get the emotion, but he's right there killing everybody.
Maybe he's walking that slowly because he knows no matter what she does to the stone, he can just reverse it with the time stone. Maybe that's why he's just taking his time.
But they don't know that. Yes, okay, maybe, but they don't.
We know that later. But
yes,
it makes more sense it makes no difference. After you watch it. In the moment, you're like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Hurry! Are you really? Is this?
You guys
really
gonna have like a marriage counselor pull up right now?
What is the other option here?
I mean, that's like a big like theme throughout the whole movie is like balancing like one life versus like the life of like half like the rest.
They really
of the
should have
universe
put more than fucking 8 people who aren't even main characters. I know they put Shuri was there. She's got her like Panther gauntlets, and a couple of the warriors were there, but they really should have put some big guns in that room. Like, just protecting Vision while that whole thing went down. Because once you get the Infinity Stone out, you can secure that. Vision is back in play. He's already got super strength, and he's got a couple other things. He's another person you can put on the field. Stronger than Captain America, probably, because he's done that before. Like, he can fly. I'm just thinking about this as an objective way. He can fly.
Well, the thing is, the plan they had was really difficult and taking a long time.
Yes.
I don't think they expected anyone to be able to get past them because of the shield. Remember?
How did they get in?
They,
I know they dug under the ground, but how did they get past everybody? Because they were all fighting in that big place, and they walked in through the back of the fucking building. I
don't remember. I remember it making sense in the movie, but I don't remember what happened exactly.
It made sense because you were like, all right, at this point, somebody must have brought it, like, gotten it, but I didn't remember how it happened.
Oh, it was like a plan to lure Scarlet Witch away, I remember. Like, that lady was like, because she was like, she's in the field. Yeah, like, now, like, go do the thing.
But if she didn't, people would be dead.
Yeah. So, I remember it had something to do with that. But yeah, anyways.
That was a cool little, like, a girl power moment when it was
she lifted up the shit.
Oh, Scarlet Witch.
It was the three. I don't know. Scarlet Witch,
Black Widow and the lady
Black Widow
from,
and then the Black Panther lady.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know her name either. But like all three of them, that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was a good moment. And I'm surprised they were actually able to like. Well, I guess it makes sense that they like were able to kill her like through their combined effort, but I don't think like Black Widow solo could have like handled.
She's starting to. She's the new weak link. Because Hawkeye's gone. She knows what she's fucking doing. She has to show off.
Well, really, like. Yeah, like Bucky is also kind of a weak link.
No, he is not.
His arm,
no,
his arm is the only thing that makes him special.
He's not. No, it's not. He was given the same sort of serum that Cap was.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. I thought
an
his arm was
experimental version that was mimicking. Yeah. Why do you think he can put up with like all the punishment he gets from Cap in Winter Soldier?
Oh, that makes more sense. For some reason, I thought all of his strength comes from his arm. Like everything, like really, he has to do everything with his arm.
That would be so dumb.
Yeah,
that would be like Arsenal.
It'd be pretty limiting.
Justice.
Yeah. So that makes more sense. But still, he uses like a regular assault rifle and stuff.
Yeah. Also, not an assault rifle from like modern day. It was like a 1965 assault rifle that's got like steam on it.
Yeah, he's got like a Call of Duty Black Ops style assault rifle
Vietnam
with bling on
rifle.
it, with like just a million like
It
attachments.
looks almost exactly like the rifle he had in Civil War. And I'm like, didn't you get it? You don't want a new one from Black Panther? No, just ask for something. Also, he's got a fucking pimp hand. When they open up the case, it's just gold inlay and everything, and he was just like, fucking, I don't care what you want me to do if I can have that arm.
It's fucking sick. Do you think he goes officially by White Wolf now?
No, they just call him that to make fun of him. Hello,
roast the
White
shit out of
Wolf.
him.
The White Wolf has rested long enough.
I like the little moment between him and Rocket where they do like the 360.
Yeah, where they picked up by the vest.
That was dope
Picks
as
him up,
fuck.
and that was really cool.
Although I thought it was weird that Rocket was like, "Oh, I'm gonna steal that gun. Is that gun for sale?" And I was like, "That's like the." I mean, I guess Rocket wouldn't know, but like that's a very standard gun that he could just go get anywhere else.
It's unique though.
I mean, how? It's like
How many projectile weapons have you seen in Guardians of the Galaxy movies?
yeah, it's unique to them. Yeah, so he doesn't know that.
And also, Rocket steals prosthetic limbs all the time. Why does he need those? You're looking for reason in a character that is purely comedy.
Yeah, that's true. Oh my god, what did you guys think of Big Peter Dinklage?
I
That shit was
laughed
funny.
originally, and then I was like, all right, I'm okay with this. Like, I got it.
Like when they first showed him, it was
Do you
like
think
kind of
he's
goofy.
getting annoyed that he's only getting cast in roles like that?
I mean, he is like the de facto guy.
But
For
he must
that
get
stuff,
bothered
no.
at some point. Just like, oh, you want me to be short dwarf
Somebody's
guy?
got to do it.
I read
know.
something on Reddit
and he's
that was
probably
like,
happy he's getting a paycheck, but still, he
said
likes acting.
He said he wouldn't do anything that makes like him look bad or something in that position, right? Like that doesn't make dwarfism look bad, right?
Mhm.
So when he was in X-Men Days of Future Past, like they didn't even like mention that.
That's
he was a
true.
dwarf,
That was great. I
basically.
loved him in that.
Yeah. When he obviously in Game of Thrones is a huge part of his character, but his character is like amazing anyways. And in this movie, they kind of flip it on the script and actually make him huge.
They call him a
which is
dwarf, and I was
interesting.
like, a dwarf made dwarf?
Yeah.
They're
but
like,
he's-
we really want you for this movie.
I
And
knew
he's
the
like,
dwarves
no, I
made
won't
it.
do it anymore. And they're like, what
But
if
you're
we make
50
you
feet
big as
tall.
shit? We'll make you big as shit, bro.
We'll make you
we
walk.
got,
He's
we
like,
got money.
"Alright."
We got budget money, bro.
And he's like, sounds great. What do I do with my hands in the movie? He's like, well,
Here's the thing.
they turn into a giant lumps of metal.
I thought it was cool, but I think the whole detour with Rocket and Groot and Thor
All the
probably could
teams,
have been
all the
sped
teams
up.
were so interesting. I was like, I wasn't waiting for the next scene with blank to come in. I was just like, yeah, okay, I'm into this now. It was just like team this, team this, team this,
Yeah,
like
there
Doctor
was
Strange and Iron Man
No
and
time
Spider-Man.
to get bored.
No, I
there was
felt-
no time to get bored.
I felt that way a little bit with the Thor and the Rocket stuff. I kind of just wanted to like move along already. Like I was like,
No.
okay, they're this
I
random
love
place.
Thor's probably one of my
Yeah,
favorite
no,
characters in
that
this.
was-
In this
I really
movie.
like
like
Thor, but I just thought
the
like him
interactions.
making his weapon was like a little boring.
It
up
did
until
start
they
to feel
actually did
like
it.
because he didn't use his lightning, I was expecting Yama to be like, "What can Thor do now? Why?"
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was something. I mean, I wasn't complaining because I didn't really think about it until the very end when he has all his powers
He's
and
a
everything,
god,
and
yeah.
he comes down and he starts slaying them by the like tens.
It felt like God
and
of
it's
War. Like he's got the
Yeah.
axe that
Oh,
comes back and everything.
Yeah,
I had completely forgot that he was a god. He seemed very like.
I didn't like that about Thor originally in like Phase 1 and like the original Avengers is that he's like a god, quote unquote, but really most of what he does is fly fast and throw his hammer and spin it around a lot. Like he didn't use lightning a lot.
What?
He didn't use it to the same extent he does in these
What?
movies now. Yeah, dude.
Did you see the first Avengers movie?
Yeah, it was
Captain literally says, "You've got the lightning, bottle it up," and he shoots lightning for like 15 minutes into that portal. What are
Yeah.
you talking about?
but it just feels like his power level has just been like unleashed ever since Ragnarok, right? Where I think it's maybe just a special effects thing too that's making me think this, where the lightning just seems so much more powerful and like damaging and shit. It's like going from Thunderbolt to like Thunder in Pokemon.
I feel like
just like
there's the-
totally fucking unleashed.
That cliche moment, it's not really cliche, it's this kind of cool moment where you can see how powerful a character is because they just punch the ground or something like that, and this huge shockwave. And in this one, he hits the ground with the back of the hammer part of the axe, and
That's
the whole
dope.
shockwave of lightning and everything was just like, what the fuck?
The axe is cool as fuck. Like,
Oh yeah, Stormbreaker.
That's a cool as fuck weapon.
Would
and
you like a little bit of lore behind it?
go for it? Inform
Okay,
me.
so originally the axe was made for a character named Beta Ray Bill. Thor is sent out and he finds this ship, and a bunch of sleeping aliens are on it, and then he's attacked by this character named Beta Ray Bill, who's a mutant alien creature, and he's like, "You now face the wrath of Beta Ray Bill," and he beats the shit out of Thor, and then Thor goes to grab his hammer, and Beta Ray Bill picks it up. He's worthy of picking up Mjolnir. And then Odin, the moment he senses someone else has picked up that hammer, he teleports the both of them into his high court. And he's like, what the fuck are you doing with my son's hammer? And Beta Ray Bill's just like, more aliens to slay. And he's like, because he's trying to defend his people. Like, the whole thing is like, he was created as the lone sentinel to defend his people from these creatures. And he assumes that the people who are attacking him now are those creatures because he's got no idea what's going on. And he looks like a horse, kind of. It's a really stupid looking character. If you look it up, you're gonna probably laugh because he's a really dumb looking character. He's got like Looney Tune gloves too. He's very weird.
Look this guy up now.
And
you said he was a sentinel. Is he sentinel like an X-Men
no,
sentinel?
I just used the word like a guardian. And Odin's like, man, you're worthy to pick up Mjolnir. We'll have the dwarves craft a hammer for you because you obviously have a good reason to need this weapon. And so the dwarves, yeah, it's really funny. And
he's literally a fucking horse.
He is like a horse. And they give him Stormbreaker. And he's actually got a feature in Planet Hulk. He's one of the characters that was captured, and he had the shot collar on him, and Hulk beats the fuck out of him and bends his stupid horse face.
They really should have given him a better name than
I
Beta
really
Ray
love
Bill.
it. I know it's really stupid, but Beta Ray Bill is kind of cool. I don't know why.
It sounds like a yeehaw kind of name, which is why I was confused.
And he's also a horse, so he's like a cowboy, but a cow himself.
There's an animated movie version of him, so I want to see if he speaks with
it's good.
Like
it's
a
good.
Western twang.
He's got the same voice actor as Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, really? Okay.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
This is so weird.
It's so sick, though. I love it.
Okay.
So then there are now 2 Thors, technically. And you can see
isn't there
in
a third one with Jane Foster. Even though
I hope they do that. I really hope Thor just retires and he sets Stormbreaker down on Earth. And before he does that, he lifts it up to his lips and he goes like, "Whosoever holds this hammer, if they be worthy, must possess the power of Thor." And then he sets it down and then he goes to live in the woods somewhere. And then some woman comes up and picks it up and becomes that platinum helmeted, amazing character design.
Yeah, I mean, I wish Natalie Portman was still involved with these movies because. Wouldn't she? I think she would have made a good female Thor. Like, that would have been cool.
Thor's most boring parts were when he was dicking around on Earth doing fucking science.
I mean, I didn't want them to do that stuff. I just wanted her to, like, pick up the mantle and, like, do all the same shit, basically. But I don't know.
Would you want, because Chris Hemsworth is a big jack dude, would you want there to be a real transformation? Because in the comics, Jane Foster, who is a very thin, ill person because she's got cancer, she's going through chemo. Thin and ill, she's almost bald, pale, and when she picks up the hammer, she becomes this very, muscular blonde woman who's obviously like a Norse god-looking person, almost like a female Thor. And would you want there to be 2 separate actresses for, like, if the person who's picking up the hammer isn't particularly muscular, would you want them to, like, switch out with, like, a body double?
Wait, when she puts the thing down, she goes back to having cancer?
Yep.
Oh, that's such a raw deal. That's fucking
is.
shitty as fuck. I would just never let it go. Never let it go.
Right? Yeah.
See, but the thing is, every time she becomes Thor, it accelerates the process. The strain on her body is, like, intense. So the moment she puts down the hammer, she's got, like, triple cancer.
What the fuck?
It's really
she would
vicious.
die for
and she
good.
also
Like, she
just
could be-
recently died and went to Valhalla.
I saw that comic panel.
She threw fucking Mjolnir into the sun and it exploded.
I mean, she would then die after, like, 2 or 3 times of being Thor, I feel, right?
Yeah.
Like, she was already close to death. She's got, like, 1 or 2 Thors left in her.
1 or
like,
2
power-ups.
Thors.
Yeah.
I measure my life based on how many Thors are left.
God. I think you could probably just do that with prosthetics and some light special effects, probably. Like, they did that shit with all the Spider-Mans, like, making them, like, nerdy and weak as shit before he gets bit, and then he's, like, super swole. So I don't think it would be too difficult to keep the same actor doing it.
I mean, yeah, you could just get, like, a jacked lady to play her, but, like, if you have, like,
Who
that
would play her?
sickly person, cancer
Ronda
person.
Rousey as...
Please don't. I knew you were going to say that. Fucking Ronda Rousey. Everybody's head goes immediately to this one stupid idiot.
I just wanted to piss you off because
I'm a WWE star now.
She was in The Expendables, so she's, like, born to play.
Oh, yeah, so
female
she's
Thor.
a fucking talent.
She's an Oscar-winning, Academy Award-winning actress.
The Academy of Idiots.
Who do you think would then make a good... Well, it can't be Jane Foster because Natalie Portman's Jane Foster, but if we're not doing Natalie Portman and you want a female Thor...
Who's the lady that plays the night nurse?
In
Daredevil.
She's not technically the night nurse, but...
Yes, she is.
She is... No, they said they're not calling her that because they're going to do it with someone else. But she serves the same function, which is stupid.
Can't remember her name.
Rosario Dawson.
That one. I want that one to play it.
She's cool. I would like it if they brought her over. She's like the least likely person though, because she is like a street level, like regular ass person who's already dealing with
Viola Davis.
Well, Viola Davis was already wasn't she in
Amanda Waller?
Oh yeah, that was Suicide Squad. Yeah, that was her.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that crossover would be good. There's got to be. Oh my god. Could it be? Would it be Jennifer Lawrence?
Fuck no.
Why not? I feel like she would actually fit it pretty well, but because she's like,
if you put your phone down, that you would know that.
Yeah, she's a little
insane.
I don't think she's. I don't know how much of her
imperceptive
being rude is like the media.
Also, I've seen her in so many things, and she pretty much plays the same person.
I always
as everyone.
just assume it's like, oh, this is Jennifer Lawrence. This is.
There's also in that new Russian agent movie, which looks so dumb.
Yeah, the black.
Her accent is so bad.
Yeah, I think.
What was that? You were like a mouse.
It's my thinking.
Found some cheese.
Well, this is what I think is going to happen: is that they're going to have to recast all of these parts. Because at the end of this movie, right, everyone who fades to ash is mostly like the new characters, right?
They're
so
all
Black
the
Panther,
new
Spider-Man, all the Guardians of the Galaxy,
Doctor Strange,
Scarlet Witch,
Black Panther,
all gone, right? The only people left are the OG
Phase
players, right? You got Iron
They're going
Man,
to come together with Captain Marvel and kick some ass.
Yeah, which is going to be sick. I think it would be cool if they redid the original shot from the Avengers.
Can Captain America get a new fucking uniform, please, for the love of God?
Please change.
He's got the same dirty, gross shirt on, and he took his fucking star off. What get some clothes. You don't have to wear that if you don't want to.
Like, Black Widow needs to take him to a fucking shopping mall or something, or get some Amazon basics at least. Like,
and they need to they need to pony up and make the relationship between Bucky and him a real thing. Two people do not vie after each other's attention for 57 years for no reason. He's also surrounded by like Hawkeye and like literally every other, like all the people on the Avengers are like the most gorgeous, like approachable people in the world. And he's just like, no, I'll just have Bucky. There's something there. There's got to be something there.
Sure. Back to my. Did Bucky die? I don't remember.
Yeah. He's like, Cap? Or no, Steve? And then he fell over.
Oh,
do you think it would be funny if his arm was left?
Stop.
I think
like a big thud, like
probably should. Yeah, if you think about it, like, why did everyone's clothes also disappear? You know,
because then it would look like Cell.
Like, imagine if you had lent like Star-Lord your favorite jacket or something, and he was wearing it that day, and then he just disintegrates, and you're like, well, what the fuck? Now I don't have my favorite fucking jacket anymore.
I don't know if you'd really be thinking about the jacket if Star-Lord himself disappears.
People who hang out with Star-Lord would probably think about their items before him because he's
okay.
dead.
All right. Well,
specifically because he literally is responsible for the fucking events that are taking place.
Yeah.
Also, okay, can we talk about how it seemed like Thanos had way more power than he used? Like, there was the one scene when the Guardians get the jump on him, and he turns two of them to like paste. Like,
that's true.
He turns them to like nothing. Like, they just melt, or what? He like makes them like ribbony or whatever. Like, just by looking at them.
I've seen this argument a lot. I don't think it was. He didn't necessarily want to kill everyone. Like,
also,
he had no intention
really
to. Yeah, he did not care if they lived or died. Basically,
really
he just didn't. They didn't want him to get in the way.
They weren't really there.
No,
only
they
Gamora was there. Remember?
No.
What are you talking about?
I'm pretty sure.
I thought they were all that, like the city.
No, wait,
like,
no,
the area
wait,
was.
I'm talking about like at the very end.
I know that there was like the dream before him where she slices his neck and then he falls down and dies and then okay, you're right.
No, I'm talking about like at the very end. Where he's like blasting away all the Avengers as they're like running at him
he's
to
using
grab
the example
stone.
of when he snaps his fingers and they're all just disintegrated.
No, I'm using the example when the Guardians get the jump on him. In like where he
looks at Drax and Drax turns into a bunch of cube little marble pieces.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and then Mantis gets ribboned.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. He does that, but he never does anything like that afterwards.
Also, when he leaves, the effects disappear. Do you think he did it intentionally? Why would he do that?
I don't know, but why wouldn't he do it again if he could? Why, when he was fighting Iron Man and Spider-Man and all of them, he didn't just look at them and turn them into bubbles like he did with
Star-Lord's gun.
like Star-Lord's gun and the Guardians like in that scene.
Why would he, if his whole thing is that like in the when he gets the soul gem, it's because he fucking chucks Gamora off a cliff and he's crying the entire time. But he wants to see that Star-Lord would kill her. I don't understand that. And then he says, "I like you," as he's leaving. It's like, why do you like him? Why?
I don't know. Because he's like, I don't know, got the character to make a tough
You guys remember
decision.
what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I mean, I think he knew that
He did know, but why does he want to see that he would kill her?
He's an evil. He's a bad guy. You gotta be.
Yeah, but he has no idea that he has to kill Gamora. And when he actually does, he's totally fucking hesitant to. He's like,
no,
crying.
I think he like respects the fact that Quill would make a tough decision.
Oh,
yeah,
and also because
like
Gamora made him promise that he would.
Yeah, exactly. Like
That's true.
he can respect that because he also sees himself as on like a difficult mission that no one wants him to accomplish. Right.
See, that's the thing where it makes even less sense that he holds back. Because this is something that he's like doing. He sees himself as like a benefactor of the universe. Like he's doing this to benefit people, and this is his mission.
Hello.
He has.
I am not Joe.
We're just shooting a little bit of footage of your class tonight.
Okay, what time does that class? 7:20. Yeah, no, I am not Joe. No, I'll be out in a little bit because I'm assuming the class is gonna start soon. Do I look like a Joe?
You look a little Joey to me.
Not really, but like he holds back for no reason.
That's 10 minutes, and no students have shown up yet.
Oh, well, look at you. Maybe no one will show up.
But why did that guy?
What do you want exactly? He just wanted to know if you were Joe?
He said we're doing some filming, and we're going to film your class.
Oh.
And I said, what time does the class start? Because I thought it would start at 7:20. He said 7:20, but it's 7:10 now.
He probably just got the
there's
wrong
nobody here.
room, and
Yeah,
he's probably
got the
poking
wrong
around.
room.
Yeah.
When he
But
comes back
anyways,
in, you should kiss him. Anyway, when Thanos,
Sorry,
Thanos holds back for no reason, and that totally makes sense why it bothered. Like, and you said it's like, oh, I saw a lot of people were complaining about that. Did you have an explanation as to why it made sense?
yes, because he isn't necessarily a bad guy in the sense that he wants to like mindlessly kill everyone. He wants it to be when he snaps his fingers.
But they're literally getting in his way. It's not even about like cruelty or anything. It's just like you're holding my hand and trying to get the Infinity Gauntlet away, and I could fucking do that, and you'd be gone. So why isn't he doing that? He doesn't even have to kill them. He could just be
That's
like,
the
you're
question.
in shackles now, and you're over
Exactly.
there.
You are now a pile of mud.
You're asleep now. You're anything. You could do anything.
Exactly.
You could like literally with the Mind Stone or the Soul Stone, you could snap your fingers and they'd both be all standing in a line and away from you, and you could do whatever you want. But he refuses to. I don't know why.
Well,
Also,
isn't like a big
Alex-
part of the fight them keeping him from closing his hands and doing most of that stuff?
Yes, but
especially
they
with
don't-
Doctor
They
Strange's
only do
magic.
that for like 5 minutes or like five seconds. Like in
Literally-
the fight, most of the fight, he has his hand free. He could
When
close
he
it
walks
whenever
through
he
the portal,
wants.
and Doctor Strange is like, "Oh, I'm glad you're here to fight the Master of the Mystic Arts or whatever." He's got the Mind Stone. Anything he says, he could just have Doctor Strange repeat the spell that opens the time thing or reveal wherever it is because he's got it in some hidden fucking thing. Just tell him to give him the Mind Stone. The Time Stone, and he could. That's like the point of the Mind Stone, isn't it? Like that, like the. Not the Soul Stone or the Mind Stone.
I actually don't know what they do like individually. I've like kind of like lost track of. No, Vision has
Oh wait,
the
no,
Mind
he doesn't
Stone.
have it yet. Yeah.
No, he doesn't. No, yeah, Vision has the Mind Stone. That's why I was confused.
So
this
what's
whole
the
time.
Soul Stone for?
The Soul Stone is the.
does it do?
I actually don't even know. I think it was the.
It was in the
Can you just take life or something? Yeah, I know like what the whole deal was. I actually don't really know what it does, 100% to be honest. But I just assumed it was like the final key in unlocking the full fucking shebang of.
Yeah, but what does it do?
I don't know. I'll have to fucking like Google it or.
If you were
whatever
not,
later.
you don't even have the Infinity Gauntlet, but you were capable of holding the stones for some reason, and you got the Soul Stone. What does it do for you?
Soul Stone.
You
Let's
can
see.
bring people back from the dead.
I did at least.
the booklet.
I did at least
booklet
like
we
that.
had.
I did at least like when he fucking threw an entire like moon or something at
yeah.
Iron Man. Like that was dope as fuck. But if you do think of it from like a practical sense, like
objectively, yeah.
Yeah, he could have just like
I'm gonna do the weirdest thing
Iron
ever
Man's
that's
little
almost
body.
gonna hit you, but not really. Like,
Yeah.
you've got reality and power on your side. You've got
Yeah.
all of the universe at your whim, and
Yeah.
you don't choose to just make perfect little blocks for them to be trapped in,
Yeah, I mean,
or just literally delete Iron Man's armor, take
Maybe-
away
Yeah,
Star-Lord's
that
pistols.
that was something I thought when the Guardians tried to ambush him or whatever. That was he like melted them instantly, and I was like, why doesn't he just do that with every person he encounters?
So in the comics, the Soul Stone or Soul Gem allows the user to steal, control, and alter souls, both living and dead.
Steal,
The Soul
control,
Gem.
alter souls.
Oh, wait a minute.
So he could literally have just done that to Doctor Strange.
But he didn't have it until. Oh no, he did have it.
He did. He
The Soul
walked out
Gem
of
is
that
also-
into Titan, and then they had that whole moment where he snapped his fingers and like, and this is the story of how I just like the planet got destroyed because we ran out of food.
Oh yeah. There's also a pocket universe within the Soul Stone that souls can be trapped in. The Soul Stone in Infinity War has been known to show evidence of sentience, even acting independently. When the Soul Stone collects someone's soul, it stores that soul in the stone itself, either in a pocket universe or some strange
Skull.
world. Yeah,
I'm glad that
That's
they had that
weird.
in there. I love Red Skull.
that was really cool.
Corniest fucking villain in the world.
Is that where everyone went at the end of Infinity War? Maybe. Interesting. I thought they would just do the whole
That's
like.
a good question.
I thought they would just do the whole time travel thing, but maybe I didn't realize the Soul Stone Avenue was a possibility. I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah, eventually, I think bottom line is that this movie does require a little bit of suspension of disbelief, that he just doesn't automatically snap his fingers and kill everyone that he needs to. But yeah.
All right, guys. I think this is my cue.
All right.
All right,
bye,
catch you guys
Joe.
later.
Bye.
That was Yaman with insightful commentary about his favorite
It's
film
not
series,
even just
the
like
MCU.
suspension of disbelief, though. It's like it doesn't make sense, even at like skin level. Like, you don't even have to think that much about it to be like, why wouldn't he just do that? Whatever, you know. Any example of things that make no sense in this movie. It's really fun, and it's endlessly entertaining to watch things go on, like a bunch of action figures, like fucking Ready Player One, just pouring about a fucking action figures and just smearing them around. It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's more complex than that, and the hundreds of thousands of people worked on this, and it's like amazing. It's a triumph, obviously.
Yeah.
Simple stuff.
I'd have to rewatch it again to like really see if I wasn't thinking about that at all during the movie. I was just like really wrapped up in it. But yeah, I would
You
have
think
to
it's like some sense of like battle honor that he's like, I can take you all down without using it.
Yeah. Well, then you could say that about Doctor Strange too. Like, why didn't Doctor Strange
Use those amazing black hole powers and all that stuff that he had.
like use the time stone to turn back the time so they could like try again and take off Thanos' glove, right? Like they could just like keep doing that over and over again and
Why
like
didn't
keep trying.
anybody just cut his arm off?
I don't know. Well, they established that he's like really hard to like hurt to begin with.
Just
Like
cut
a
his
full
arm off.
fucking like throated blast from Thor's hammer only goes like a little bit into his chest. I don't know.
No,
and
that
he
went
says like
very far into his chest, to the hilt of the fucking thing, to where the two pieces connect. It was like all the way in.
yeah. Well, even if you cut off one arm, Thor cut off one arm, he could have just put the glove on the other. Well, no, he couldn't.
With
'cause it's
what?
Like a left-handed,
His other
right-handed.
arm while you're fucking killing him still? You've cut off his arm. What are you
He should
talking
have just.
about?
He should have just decapitated him, like he said.
But
That
it's a
would've just
Marvel
solved
movie. Like,
everything.
when he said that, it's like,
Yeah.
you should have gone for the head. But they can't do that because it's a Marvel movie and it's not rated R.
Yeah, but also like to be fair, I imagine aiming for the head at
Really
that
easy
speed
when
and
his head is
velocity.
the size of a fucking truck.
I guess he does have a rather large head.
And also, he's
don't know.
Thor. Surely he's thrown shit before. Literally, his fucking favorite thing in the world is to throw a hammer.
Yeah, it's true. He's like a fucking Olympic athlete when it comes to throwing shit. Okay. Overall, 8.5 out of 10. That's my rating. Do you have a rating for it?
For what it was, like a 9.
And as a film in general?
As a film in general, it does do a lot of just sort of teasing. Like, it's not really a movie because you have to know. I know people say, oh, you really don't have to watch, like Yaman said, you really don't have to watch any of these other movies. But there's a lot. If you have more than one scene that is pivotal that you see another movie in there, and there's like 80 of those. So it really does matter that you see other movies. I'd say like 8 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10 for a movie, but for Infinity War it's like a 9.
I think it's like, I don't think you can necessarily judge it like that stupid New Yorker critic did, where they're like, they didn't introduce any of the characters.
People were fucking mad about that. It's like, oh, why don't you just watch all the blah, blah, blah. But I'm not talking about that. Obviously, as Infinity War, this piece in a very long saga, 9 out of 10. But if someone just walked in and saw it, all these like hinging scenes talking about stuff that happened in previous movies, 7.5.
Oh, well, yeah. But
Does that make no sense?
Then that makes sense, but then that's like an unfair metric to use, I feel.
That's why I said first 9 out of 10. I've said it 8 times now.
No, sorry. I thought you meant something different when you said for what it was. But when I thought you were like, okay, that's fine. Yeah, I enjoyed it, and I'm curious to see where they go next. All right, email.
Oh wait, no, I have a thing to mention.
Oh, you want a thing?
Have you ever, 97.1?
Yeah, this is the Christmas music station.
It's Christmas
in, Virginia.
music.
Yeah.
It was that for a long time.
It was, and then I might be getting my stations mixed up, but was that the one that said all the hits without the rap? Like, that's literally their catchphrase. Like, it's a very whitewashed.
They have said that. Also, they have a segment called Delilah, where it's some fucking annoying son of a bitch named Delilah, and all she does is talk like this in the most cringy, like, it makes your ears like turn inside out. It's so uncomfortable for my brain, and I've been criticized for this. When I drive in my car and I'm listening to music specifically, I'll hook up my aux to my thing, and my car's kind of old, so it hooks up to a tape that goes in. So there's got a bunch of options for listening to stuff. There's 6 presets for different radio stations. I will flick through those, and because I don't have Spotify Premium, I'll go back to tape if it's been long enough for another song to have come on. And then if I don't like that, I'll keep flicking through those. And sometimes I'll go to 97.1 because sometimes they'll play a good song. That's the only reason I have 97.1 on there. It's not because I like this fucking bitch named Delilah. Her whole thing is just to be the most, I don't know why, but the most, like, I'm not saying pretentious, but she talks about people like they're garbage and just like come to Jesus just all the time. It's always about come to Jesus. I feel like somehow this is gonna come back to bite me, like some like person who works for Delilah listening to this, and they're gonna. Is
this like the commercial?
It's not a commercial.
It's like an on-the-hour segment.
It's a segment, and she's like a host for like I don't know how often this happens during the week or when this happens during the day. Don't look this up.
I'm looking this up.
Oh my god!
I want to see what this girl looks like.
There was something recently that started. Maybe it's recent, or maybe it's something that's happened a lot, but I just happened to miss. It's something
Delilah. Oh, she's like a white.
She's the whitest person on the planet. And she'll like tell like some yee motherfucker will like, we're gonna take a call from someone named Jacob, and then Jacob will be like, "Hello, Delilah. I've been married for 37 years, and I just want you to play a special song for my special lady on God's good day that is today." And then Delilah will be like, "I think that's wonderful. We're gonna play you your yee song now, and it's gonna be the most annoying bullshit you've ever heard in your life. Is I ain't nothing but a hound dog for like that's Elvis, so that's a bad example, but like Red Solo Cup or something like that, some fucking awful Blake Shelton bullshit." And there's a new segment called "Not a Sermon, Just a Thought," which is the most pretentious like come to Jesus thing I've ever heard in my life. And it'll be like out of nowhere, it'll switch to this like old, like 45-year-old sounding man who probably has a mustache and wears cowboy boots, and he'll be like, I don't believe that it's terrible for gay men or gay women to be together. All I know is that in the Bible it says that women and men should be together. I don't know, like, it's like saying, like, I'm not saying this is wrong, but I'm saying something, and then it'll be like, not a sermon, just a thought, and then it'll plug the whole thing at the end. I'm not saying they always do something homophobic, but it's always weirdly, vaguely, like, hating someone, and it's always like, is your life going terribly? It was like, perhaps you're not thinking about Jesus quite enough. And it's like, not a sermon, just a thought.
Yeah.
It's the most annoying shit in the world.
That's fucking weird as fuck. Yeah, looks like 97.1 is the only radio station that does it. It's just a syndicated thing. It's actually based out of Seattle, which is extra weird. Yeah, and they just like broadcast it through a bunch of other different local radio stations. That's weird and annoying as fuck. I didn't know this was
I'm sorry
even,
to
like, a
make
thing.
this my soapbox part where I complain about my life, but yeah, that was something that bothered me. I specifically texted you like while I was at a light, and I never use my phone while I'm driving. I was like, "Fucking Pena, remind me to change."
Remind me to talk about this bitch, Delilah. All right. Well,
She's probably a perfectly nice woman, but on the radio, holy shit, she's fucking annoying.
This Wikipedia section doesn't mention anything about religion. It just mentions her talking about.
She's very
she provides
conservative.
encouragement, support, and receiving musical dedication requests.
They probably say like somewhere like, "Oh, she might give spiritual advice," but it's mostly one fucking spirit is they're talking about.
Yeah, I'm not getting any. If I type in spiritual or religion, I don't get any pop-ups on this page.
That's
So
perfectly convenient.
it's weird. I there might be some sort of Wikipedia.
They do that
Delilah
same thing
conspiracy
that people, like,
happening.
that diet that people who don't want to like alienate too many people, because a lot of time like people like me, if they hear the word God, they're just like, because they know they're gonna get a sermon, but the person that's talking will like Delilah will usually say the Lord or his spirit or you need to they won't be as specific by saying Jesus or God. Only fucking not a sermon, just a thought idiot says that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's late in the night. She'll think that all the sinners are gone, so she'll be like, Jesus, and she'll be happy that she could say that on the radio.
All right. Do you have it out of you?
I do.
Okay.
Yama sent us this thing, and I want to read it.
Okay. Go ahead.
A YouTube comment I replied to, Idake, if you want to bring it up from the last pod. Yaman, someone asked Yaman, what's your favorite movie? Katie asked this. And Yaman replied, Jump Street, the Rush Hour series, Deadpool, and Iron Man. I cannot choose one.
There we go.
Wait, was that Yaman?
Yeah, that was Yaman's reply. He just has no profile picture on his account, so it makes it like weird.
I'm confused. Who's asking this? Is it Yaman asking?
No, Katie is asking this, and Yaman is replying. You've got it. You did it right. Don't worry.
Okay, and then she said, I mean, those are all really good. I can't blame you for not being able to pick one.
Yes.
So there you go.
Thank you for the question, resident Prude Dudes fan Katie. This first email is from Alexis, whose email we read last week. Y'all might remember. It was that very poetic existential crisis email. First, sorry for writing again so soon. I'm not a stalker, I swear. Just got a random idea. Second, you're welcome, Patrick, and I stand by what I said. Also, thanks for calling my caffeine-fueled writing prose. If you could tell that to my English teacher, that would be great. Third and last, what do you think of Deadpool 2? Also potential about a Deadpool Spider-Man crossover. If you don't know why I bring that up,
zero potential.
And there's a link to an article about Deadpool and Spider-Man's romance in the comics. Deadpool 2 looks dope. As for a Deadpool Spider-Man crossover, probably. I'm never gonna say never, especially if this Disney buying Fox deal goes through, because then they could theoretically do it. But they definitely seem to be appealing to two very different audiences. Like Spider-Man's a little more family friendly, and Deadpool is definitely not that. So I think if anything, Spider-Man would have to be in a Deadpool movie, right? That way Deadpool wouldn't have to be dumbed down. But if you put Deadpool in a Spider-Man movie, then like you immediately lose a lot of like the appeal of Deadpool
Because he's got to be PG.
Yeah, exactly. So like you immediately like fuck that up.
So you think about it like, what do you like about Deadpool? And if that becomes canceled out when he's transferred to another brand, then what's the point of transferring him other than seeing the two of them on screen?
Yeah. Like you could move Spider-Man up, but then it would still be like a little weird for Spider-Man to be there.
Sometimes if Deadpool's in another... I think I mentioned this before, but sometimes if Deadpool's like an Avengers comic, he won't break the fourth wall. Or if he does, they'll just call him a fucking crazy person and be like, Deadpool, get out of here.
Yeah.
When he's in a Spider-Man comic, it's usually pretty entertaining because he's always hitting on Peter.
Yeah, like... See, the thing is, if Deadpool was in Infinity War, it would not have and he like broke the fourth wall or something, I really fucked that movie up, I think. Like, I don't think that would have been a good addition at all. But
they kind of broke the fourth wall when they cut to something like they were talking about the Guardians and then said cut to space in bold text.
Oh no, but that's like a
it was small,
thing.
But still.
The Stan Lee stuff is kind of fourth wall breaking.
Yeah, I'm tired of that. I don't care about that
guy. But I don't know. I would have to see how they do it exactly, but I don't think it would really work too well. Because he'd just be so limited and handicapped inherently that I think people would have to be like guests in his movie. I don't know if he could like handle well in other movies. But anyways, thank you for that. All right, this is another heavy email.
Oh,
we
God.
keep getting toxic.
Love.
Well, not particularly heavy, but I think it's just another follow up. This email is from Liz. Love the podcast and I listen to it when I do homework, which is why I'm so behind because I've been ignoring it for weeks. I a million percent believe in love because I care about people and insist on giving as much kindness to everyone I meet. When I give a random compliment to someone on the street or to a tired cashier, I can see the excitement and joy in their eyes, but that's just my way of throwing a little bit of love in the world. Otherwise, love is meeting someone who makes you choke on air and feel jittery or almost anxious when you see them. They make you want to impress them and you say stupid shit because you can't think of anything. Looking into the eyes of the one you love makes your stomach drop out like when you went over the top of a roller coaster. And the world doesn't exist because you're too focused on trying to remember to breathe. It's one of those most amazing feelings in the world. Also, Kanye is too fucking extra and he's trying to be one of those quote-unquote designers who makes quote-unquote wearable art. Like one of those people who takes a fuckload of acid, throws a bunch of random shit on a model, and pushes it down the runway, and somehow people still enjoy that fuckery. Let yourself love and be loved, Patrick. Liz.
I like what she said about Kanye.
Yeah. Just that part?
Yep. I mean, I can disagree with you. It's you're not a terrible person.
I mean, like, I can immediately...
That sounds really amazing. I wish I could live that way.
I can just, like... I mean, I imagine what your argument would defaultly be is that all those feelings that she's describing, you could just say that that's infatuation, right? Like, you could pretty easily...
It's not
write
that
off those
simple.
feelings.
I don't want to simply just write it off as like, oh, that's not your feeling of what you call love is actually this thing that I call this. It just depends on your definition of what things happen. I think that person that emailed us and said we need new words was completely right.
That's fair. We have another love email that relates more closely to your worldview if you want to read that.
Oh, where is it?
It's by Hannah. It's the third email. Here, I'm gonna archive these ones so you can see what I'm talking about. Should be the top one now.
To Gmail, it's loading.
Oh my god! Hurry the fuck up, you fucking piece of shit!
I'm gonna pull up iTunes. Hannah.
Yep, that's her.
Okay. Today in my sociology class, we had an open discussion about love, marriage, etc. Everyone in the class knows where I stand on the subject of love and how I view it as just chemicals produced in your brain. Why do they know that about you? So in the human race can continue. People ask me why I don't see love as they do, and it's because I've never seen it. My parents are divorced and my grandparents are all separated. My family hopes that I will break the cycle, but I don't see the point of falling in love with someone when they can easily produce those feelings for someone else and replace you. I've never fell in love with anybody before. If it happens and I'm meant to fall in love with someone, then so be it. But until then, I'm just going to put it on that back burner. Also, my little brother listened in on number 41, right as Yaman and Patrick were arguing about Halo 1 and Halo 3, Master Chief, and he listened as he listened, the more confused he became. He told me that the way the armor looks shouldn't matter as long as it functions. It still functioned the same, and said the entire argument was equivalent to a sad sack of deep-fried dildos. He's only 11. Wow, okay. Anyways, as I've said before, I love the podcast, and I thought it was great and very enjoyable. Excited for the next one. With love, Hannah.
Your brother's a deep-fried sack of fucking dildos.
Jesus.
Aesthetics are everything.
I don't know who's the dildos in that one, me or Yaman probably did. And I don't agree that what you said. He told me that the way the armor looks shouldn't matter as long as it still functions the same. Okay.
I mean,
I disagree.
In the context of like a video game,
the armor makes literally no difference.
Yeah. So all we have to care, like, it's not keeping us alive. Like there are no stakes whatsoever.
There's a few stakes.
I mean, never mind. But we care. It functions the same as it does in all the Halo games, pretty much. Care about how it looks.
For some reason, it feels like I should agree with everything she said about love, but it sounds so much more sad.
God.
She said, my parents are divorced, my grandparents all separated, my family hopes that I will break the cycle. It sounds like a lot of expectation that I would really hate to have.
Interesting. Been there, done that. All right.
I have a comment to make about you and your stupidity.
Me?
Yeah. So I was on Amazon because I'm searching for something I want to buy, and I sent in the group chat a picture, which was of an array of items. There were 3 on the top of the screen. Very obviously, I said, which one looks best, left or right? And Pena, in his infinite wisdom, said yellow or something like that.
Light brown.
Oh, yeah, it makes it much better. I'm colorblind, if anyone doesn't know. He knows I'm colorblind because we've had this discussion 800,000 times. And I was like, dude. And he was like, what? And I was like, I'm still colorblind. And he was like, oh. And then he said middle. He didn't say left or right. It's so annoying.
You sent... Okay, one, this is just like a picture of basically your entire computer screen.
No, it is not. It's a very small picture.
So I'm looking at... There are at least 6 items in this picture.
Okay, that's true. But look at the bottom list thing. You see where the one thing on the left is a fucking hockey puck, and the one on the right for that list is a sword? Why would I be comparing those two things?
Oh, I thought that was a knife. I thought those were also knives.
They're knives.
The hockey puck thing, I realized that that's just like a grinder, or not a grinder, but like a, a thing to sharpen your fucking blade. Yeah, exactly. But when you say left or right...
Why would I be comparing a whetstone, a hockey puck-sized whetstone?
I was confused. I don't know what the fuck you buy. I don't know why you buy.
That is so not true. You're stupid. Is the point?
I think you should have cropped the photo to make it much clearer because you
presented
me a binary choice. You presented me a binary choice when actually there were like 6 things on screen.
But I specifically said left or right. If there's 3 options, there's only one left and right. You don't get to choose the middle.
I don't know if you meant like I didn't know if you were only looking at the 2 on the right perhaps, and then being like, okay, is it this left one or the one on the right? Like I didn't know what your mental grouping of these products was.
I think you're stupid.
Okay, fine. No one can even fucking see the pictures, so no one knows if I'm right or not.
Okay, so basically, if I can lay it out for you, there's like, it's on my recommended because based on like what I've been searching, there's 2 lists like that you can scroll through horizontally. And I took my camera and I moved it close to my screen so you can only see about half of both, like from the top down. And there are 3 items visible on both lists of these 2 horizontal lists. The 3 on the bottom are, I believe, a whetstone that looks like a hockey puck, some other item, and on the third one is a knife. And on the top list, there are 2 knives on the left and the right that look very similar, which is the ones that I want to compare, and the one in the middle that's very pale. Pena, after hearing which one's best, left or right, decided that I might be talking about the comparing hockey pucks and knives. Like I was making a decision about whether or not I should buy that or that. And then after clarifying, he was like, oh, and then he made it about the middle one.
Oh, God. Oh, well. Who cares?
Useless.
And finally, we got a doodle from Danny. We have to post this on the Instagram. This is cool, but this is a cool little pencil sketch. Danny says, hey, me again. Was listening to a podcast and I overheard Alex mutter, I hate it when my parents fight, while Patrick and Yaman fought to the death, so I made a doodle. Hope you appreciate it because everyone in my study hall is now very worried about my parental situation. Thanks for amusing me, Danny. Thank you, Danny. This is a neat little thing. I don't know why we didn't post this sooner, but we will get to that. We'll do that. And our final thing today to show off is we've got another podcast review. We're at 66 ratings right now, still at 5 stars. Doing great. We got this one from Pip Pap Scallywab. Absolutely wonderful. The chicken tenders were not as great as I expected. I mean, they were okay chicken tenders, but not the best, But this podcast, 10 out of 10, would recommend. Thank you, Pip Pap Scallywab.
We really appreciate that shit. I don't know why, but that's the only thing people care about in terms of like both sponsors and also people will like look at reviews to see whether or not they should like do a podcast.
Yeah. I'm worried that like Do you think like a sponsor would like check out our reviews? Like, okay, let's see like if this is legit. Let's see if like bots.
Dick's piss.
Yeah, like.
But you can't post anything vulgar, so it's not like they can say anything terrible.
Yeah.
Or they could be like terrifying and weird without being. Could they say like I skinned a raccoon and then I fornicated with its corpse or something like that?
Like, maybe it's just so weird that they think that we're the ones writing them from like multiple accounts, or maybe they think like we have an army of bots like
I don't know.
fucking filing.
Do you think
iTunes
it's
reviews.
weird when I'm looking up on Amazon and what I'm about to purchase?
Knives?
They're not a. It's not a knife. It's a kukri.
A what?
It's a half knife. It's a machete thing.
Oh, so it's like a full size.
It's about a
sword
foot
thing.
long.
So like, I mean, I know people that like collect knives and shit, but like,
I'm one of those people.
I assume it's like the same thing.
I've got
I
a
don't know.
grand total of 1, 2. I've got one pocket knife that's about as long as my finger. That this is my carry thing for the day. And I've also got one boot knife. My dad gave me a machete because he got it on the job site. And another hunting
His
knife.
job just gave him a machete.
Well, it was like some staff member presented it with him. It was like something like that. It's from the Honduras.
Interesting. Okay. Well, do you
So there's
use
this-
them for anything?
Can I make a joke at the expense of Venezuela?
Sure. I'll give you permission as well.
Okay, so there was this album and I saw it today when I was on Spotify. It was randomly picked as one of the songs I was playing, and the name of the album was called Failed State, and I wanted to take a screenshot and send it because I know you referenced that as one of the things you could use to describe Venezuela.
That's a good
I
one.
thought
That's
it was really funny, but I thought it was too close to home, so I didn't want to send it.
Oh, that's not even like that offensive. I thought it was gonna be like,
All
know.
Venezuelans smell bad or something.
yeah, I'm like, what the fuck did you say?
It wasn't about
No.
Venezuelans. It's just like the idea of them.
Yeah. That's fair. No, that's funny. That's good. I give you. I will not call the PC police on you for that one.
Make fun
Yeah.
of Venezuela.
Yeah,
Kick it when it's
exactly.
down.
Okay. Anything else you want to add, or can we wrap this up?
Fuck you.
Fuck you too. Thank you for listening to the Prude Dudes podcast. If you want to follow us on Twitter, it's at Prude Dudes. Same thing on Instagram. If you want to follow us at our personal Twitter accounts to see our hot takes and bad jokes, I'm at AlexPenda97. Patrick is at PatrickSharlter5, and Yaman is at its_Yaman. Thank you again for listening, guys. And make sure you leave those cool-ass iTunes reviews again. Definitely helps out the show. And we'll read them on the show like we just did, especially if they're really fucking funny and you have a clever username to go along with it. So thank you again for listening, guys, and we'll see you again next week.
Bye.